Tonight we're showing you changes at the Yakima Training Center and what this update means for armed services in Washington. Plus, we're highlighting an effort to keep people out of jail and hopefully to get them on the road to recovery that's being developed in eastern Washington. But first, we've got to talk about that very hot and hazy weather outside, potentially setting records this weekend with an abrupt change on the way. Details coming up in your First Alert weather forecast.
Now, KAPP KVEW local news at 5.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Alyssa Warner. We are looking at the potential for record heat both today and tomorrow. And while you might be considering getting out on the water this weekend, you do need to be aware local waterways are still full of melted snow. That means the current is even faster than it would normally be this time of year. Columbia Basin Dive Rescue tells us that water is also very cold and it's not heating up nearly as fast as the air is.
The water still is just in the low 40s. So it has not warmed up a whole lot. And if you go out there and put your hand in it, it's going to be pretty chilly. So just be aware of that. Like I said, I can't overemphasize wearing your life jacket enough.
Now, even with a life jacket, officials say it's vital to have someone who's specifically assigned to keeping an eye on the kids in the water if you're out with a group. And if you're planning on hitting the Yakima River, do remember there's a lot more debris in the water than usual, which can be dangerous if you're out on a float or even a small boat. And we've seen the air quality getting worse over the last several days as smoke has moved south from Canada. In North Richland, there was some smoke in the air this morning. In that case, though, it was intentional. Fire crews from all around the Tri-Cities were performing burn operations on a patch of land owned by the WSU Tri-Cities Wine Science Program. Knowing that during wildfire season this 30-plus acres could be a fire hazard, WSU asked for it to be cleared in advance. It was also a way to get some recruits some practice. Ben Shearer with the Pasco Fire Department says they were taking the training from the classroom to the wildlands.
How to scrape the ground, how to pull the weeds out of the ground, clear that fuel away from the fire, and able to control the fire. In a wildland fire, it's usually a little bit different than a structure fire. We're not usually trying to put the fire out as much as we're trying to clear the area in front of it and let it put itself out as much as possible, or burn out areas in order to remove that fuel.
Now, while wildfire season typically peaks in July in our area, Shearer says every local fire agency has seen their share of wildfires recently. In this case, they get some contained practice to make those real scenes run smoother. And let's talk about the air quality. Taking a look right now, you can see, much like last night, most of our area is in the moderate air quality range. That means that if you are sensitive to wildfire smoke or if you have other health issues that could impact your heart and lungs, you're going to want to stay inside if you can until this kind of clears away. You're seeing that outside as well as we're looking at our stadium camera from Gisa Stadium in Pasco. Just that haze where we should be seeing perfect blue skies. Jason Valentine has a look at what to expect headed into the weekend.
Good Friday evening, everyone. Welcome to the weekend. Hope you had a wonderful day today. Hope you have a nice weekend planned and a lot going on. We have heat, sun, and yes, smoke to talk about. Overnight tonight, we are going to see clearing, and into tomorrow, we're going to see some sunshine as well. We'll see those hazy conditions continue. We do have air quality alerts in our areas, and it has affected our air quality throughout our regions today. Now, we are going to be expecting to see a little bit warmer temperatures tomorrow, most likely some records being broken, but it just depends on the smoke. If it's a little thicker than expected, that could mean a bit cooler temperatures than expected. But we are going to have highs in the 90s, plenty of sunshine, but we do have a cool down coming on Sunday and a much cooler temperatures in our next work week. Also a little bit of shower activity to talk about late Saturday into Sunday. A lot going on. You're not going to want to miss my full forecast that's coming up. But for right now, I'm going to send it back to you.
Thanks, Jason. Now here's a concept: algae cleaning food processing plant water. It's part of the new technology coming to the city of Pasco, and Governor Inslee was there to celebrate the expansion. Our Madeline Hagan explains how this will create a sustainability loop in our region.
We have plenty of agricultural fields in the region. We also have a lot of wastewater coming from local food plants. But thanks to new technology coming to Pasco within the next year, it'll help that process of watering these fields become more sustainable and take out methane from the environment. Governor Inslee and city officials celebrating millions of dollars in funding today that'll go toward expanding the processed water reuse plant. Water stored here comes from nearby food processing plants. This expansion will include technology that uses algae to reduce methane and cleans the water to irrigate local agriculture.
Now, I may have peculiar tastes, but there is nothing more exciting in the state of Washington than industrial wastewater. This is something I love because this treatment of agricultural industrial wastewater can lead the world on how we handle water and turning water from a wasted product into a useful product. And that's what this project is doing.
Grosswind Technologies out of Iowa developed this technology going into the plant. Phil Gates with the company says this project in Pasco will be the first time it's used to clean processed water and in turn be reused locally. Now, much like Governor Inslee gave a speech today celebrating what's to come in Pasco, they all hope to be here within a year's time celebrating the grand opening of this water reuse plant. Reporting in Pasco for KAPP Local News, I'm Madeline Hagan.
Thanks, Maddie. And the Army Reserve held a ribbon cutting today for its brand new tactical equipment maintenance facility. This is located at the Yakima Training Center. KAPP-KVEW's Emily Goodell was there. She tells us this is an update they've needed for a long time.
Officials say this facility has been 15 years in the making and will replace an existing facility that's older and smaller over at Joint Base Lewis McChord. It's more than double the size of the previous facility and state-of-the-art, and it'll allow Army Reserve officers to get their vehicles and equipment maintained right here in Yakima County. It's based here on the Yakima Training Center, but it's actually an Army Reserve facility run by the 88th Readiness Division.
You can see the overhead lift and the cranes and the multiple bays, so the capacity has gone up, and the technology and everything's new and modern.
The facility is already up and running, and they're looking forward to seeing how it will provide support for Army Reserve for years to come. Reporting in Yakima County, Emily Goodell, KAPP-KVEW Local News.
And officers across Idaho, Oregon, and Washington continue to search for a 2-year-old boy who disappeared from a Boise suburb more than 24 hours ago. Investigators believe the boy's father, who does not have custody, may have kidnapped him. So take a look. This is 2-year-old Rudy Reyes and his father. Investigators believe they may be driving a gray 2008 Lexus sedan with the Idaho license plate number 2CTJ790. Investigators said last night they thought Reyes might be headed to Pendleton, Oregon, or Rochester, Washington, which is northwest of Centralia, you can see here. If you see either of them, call 911 right away. A mother and her 2 sons are among the people who have been arrested for a Richland homicide that happened on New Year's Eve. 19-year-old Felipe Manjarres Jr. of Sunnyside is facing a murder charge in the shooting death of 21-year-old Michael Castoreno Jr. Manjarres' 16-year-old brother was also arrested on suspicion of unlawful possession of a firearm. Rosalina Guzman, the mother of the 2 boys, is facing a charge of rendering criminal assistance. Guzman and Manjarres were found in Oklahoma. Police say the U.S. Marshals Service helped track them there shortly after the killing in Richland. Police say they'll both be brought back to Benton County to face their charges. Another person, 17-year-old Rafael Torres Topete of Kennewick, is also in jail, charged with the murder of Castoreno. The Yakima Association of Faith Communities held a moment of blessing today near Lewis and Fairbank Avenues in Yakima. That's where a 33-year-old man was killed earlier this week. Police have been searching for answers about who shot and killed Ramiro Camacho and why they did it. They said they have no reason to believe that this was a gang-related crime, but his family is begging anyone with information to come forward.
Put yourself in our shoes. Put yourself in the shoes of all the victims and really see how you would feel in this situation.
The family does have a GoFundMe set up to help them pay for funeral expenses, and if anyone has any information about Ramiro's death, you can call Yakima Police Detective Gronwald at 509-576-6597. New tonight, a semi-truck driver accused of hitting a van on I-5, killing 7 people yesterday, is suspected of driving under the influence. Investigators say the semi-truck veered out of the northbound lanes of I-5, hit a van that was stopped on the side of the interstate, and shoved it into the back of a second semi, which was also parked. Oregon State Police say the 52-year-old driver from California has been arrested on suspicion of DUI, reckless driving, manslaughter, and assault. Tonight we are tracking developing news from Washington, D.C., where there's still no deal on the debt ceiling. Earlier today, Republicans said they had to pause negotiations, saying they weren't getting anywhere. But now the White House says those talks are back on. ABC's M. Wynn is tracking the latest.
We've got to get movement by the White House, and we don't have any movement yet, so yeah, we got to pause.
As the president receives updates while he's away at the G7 summit in Japan, the White House says there are real differences between the parties on budget issues, and talks will be difficult, adding an agreement remains possible if both sides negotiate in good faith. This as House Speaker Kevin McCarthy insists teams need an agreement by the end of the weekend to avoid a default, estimating Congress will need the rest of the month to push it through both chambers.
People are willing to have reasonable conversations about how you can actually move forward and do the right thing, then we're not going to sit here and talk to ourselves.
In recent days, both parties' leaders have faced growing criticism from their own members. Some Republicans saying McCarthy should be demanding more budget cuts in exchange for raising the debt ceiling. Democrats arguing the president shouldn't be negotiating at all. The consequences could be dire come June 1st if the nation defaults on its debts. Troops could go unpaid, Social Security payments could be delayed for seniors, the stock market would likely plunge along with people's 401ks, interest rates would soar, and an estimated 8 million people could lose their jobs. I'm Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
A Washington-based Blue Origin will build the second spacecraft that sends astronauts back to the surface of the moon. NASA made that announcement today. Blue Origin is owned by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. NASA already awarded Elon Musk's SpaceX a $3 billion contract to land astronauts on the moon in the first trip since the 1970s. The Blue Origin moon landing is expected in 2029. Still ahead on KAPP Local News at 5, we're taking an in-depth look at a multi-agency response unit that's trying to balance community safety with protecting individuals.
When we start interweaving services, it works out a lot better. It's a more effective system.
And taking a live look outside, we're tracking air quality concerns with a look at when you could see a break in this potentially record-breaking May heat wave. That's coming up, but first, is your American flag a little tattered? Well, KAPP Local News and Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking are hosting the Great American Flag Swap. On Tuesday, you can bring your used flag to Rick's in Kennewick and swap it for a brand new American flag. As part of the celebration, they'll be serving free barbecue, and it all starts at 11 a.m. at Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking on Tuesday. You're watching KAPP Local News at 5. We will be right back.
Now is the time for a new bath from Bathfitter. Every Bathfitter bath is installed quickly, safely, and beautifully with a lifetime warranty. Go from old to new, from worn to wow. The beautiful bath you've always wanted, done right, installed by one expert technician, all in one day. We've been creating moments like these for 35 years, and we're here to help you get started. Book your free virtual or in-home design consultation today.
Luxurious Karastan carpets are just the footing you need to live beautifully. And now, during National Karastan Month, you can save beautifully. Use your exclusive rebate to receive up to $1,000 back on select styles of Karastan carpets and the flawless craftsmanship of Luxe Craft hard surface flooring. Live beautifully, save beautifully with Karastan at Floor & Home by Carpet One.
Come see us at Floor & Home. Let us help create your space.
I want to be smarter with my spending now. And that's what we're here for.
Find a healthier approach to money at Gisa. Okay, I think we're all aware that most cell companies only give you the lowest price when you sign up for multiple lines.
What? Multiple lines?
Hello? Yeah, one sec. But US Cellular gives you just one line for $29.99 with unlimited data.
Just one line with unlimited data.
So you don't have to get more lines than you need.
No, you hang up.
Are you even listening, guy who never looks up from his phone?
Oh, not for me, I just say it.
Okay, so no, you're not listening.
Get one line for $29.99, plus every plan is price protected. US Cellular, built for us.
E.T. followed by Extra tonight at 7 on KAPP.
Welcome back, everyone. The University of Idaho is expanding online. They just got permission from the State Board of Education to buy the University of Phoenix in a $550 million deal. This means the University of Phoenix will become a not-for-profit entity, and the University of Idaho is hoping this will open up more opportunities for adults to reach their academic goals. The University of Idaho says both schools will stay separate and they will have separate programs. Well, Washington has been trying for years to balance community safety with sensitive and productive responses to people who are struggling with drug addiction or mental health crises. Advocates say simply putting people in jail isn't a good solution for anyone. So the Spokane Police Department has created a multi-agency unit to try to find that balance. Robin Nance got to ride along with an officer and see how the unit operates.
Male running into the street, taking his shirt off, throwing things at passing cars. They believe he's tweaking. It could be drugs, it could be mental health.
This is exactly the kind of call Spokane Senior Police Officer Richie Plunkett is here for. He spends a lot of his time in places like this, looking for people in crisis and following up with those he's helped before. Most officers don't have time for this kind of follow-up, but Officer Plunkett is a member of the Behavioral Health Unit, or BHU. It's made up of Spokane and Spokane Valley police officers, county deputies, and mental health counselors from Frontier Behavioral Health. Sometimes those counselors ride along with the officer or deputy.
It's nice to be able to bounce stuff off them.
He and his team work closely with the local shelters, homeless advocates, substance abuse treatment facilities, and hospitals.
The biggest issue we're dealing with is co-occurring disorders. So most of the time, the co-occurring is a substance use disorder with some sort of mental health disorder.
Whereas our patrol officers and deputies in the field are often in Band-Aid mode.
Sergeant Jason Hartman oversees the BHU for the police department. He says being homeless or mentally ill is not a crime and shouldn't be treated like it.
Our goal is to basically long-term to provide people that are struggling with mental illness with services, treatment, put them in contact so they can get treatment.
But there are times when those in crisis knowingly commit crimes and need to be held accountable, especially when domestic violence is involved, other violent crimes, or serious property damage.
There's no trespassing signs all over here, and then you get charged, and I don't want you to get charged. Are you looking to get into some sort of services?
The unit is paid for through a Washington state grant, and SPD tells me it's a model for other crisis units across the country.
When we start interweaving services, whether it's public safety, nonprofits, hospitals, it works out a lot better. It's a more effective system because without having these connections, we're just going to continue to have a broken system.
That was Robin Nance reporting, and Spokane says the Behavioral Health Unit contacted nearly 5,000 people just last year, and in 8 out of 10 cases, they say those contacts ended in something other than a person going to jail.
Now, KAPP First Alert Weather with Jason Valentine.
Good Friday evening, everyone. Again, I hope you had a wonderful day today. So heat records, they most likely could fall tomorrow, but there is a wild card in there, and it is the smoke, which has dropped our air quality throughout our day today, and we have air quality alerts throughout many of our regions. It is going to be cooler by Sunday. So with these records, we do expect to see records to fall tomorrow. Here's our forecasted temperatures, and here's what our records are. So Tri-Cities, Yakima, Walla Walla, and possibly Pendleton, if it gets a little bit warmer than expected, could break some records. But but the smoke is the wild card. If it's a little thicker than expected, we could see a bit cooler temperatures than our forecast. So we're going to keep a close eye on that, but we're going to be at above or near record temperatures for your Saturday. And our temperature trend as we leave tomorrow is finally going to be cooling down, and we're going to see much more comfortable conditions next week, right around our average. And our average for all of our areas is in the 70s. So as we move into our wind, this is good news for the smoke in our regions. As we get to Sunday, we do expect to see winds from the southwest, 10 to 20 mile per hour. That should be pushing out some, if not all, of the smoke that's in our areas. And again, that smoke is coming from those wildfires in Canada, and those southwest winds will continue Monday and Tuesday. So we'll keep a close eye on that, but hopefully we get relief from the heat and from the smoke as we move along into our next work week. So our future cast, we still have just a bit of shower activity expected in the Cascades, and we do have a little bit coming in from the southwest that should dissipate before it gets to any of our cities. As we move along in Saturday, again, a little bit of electricity, it looks like, thunder and lightning in the Cascades. A little could bleed over into Ellensburg and Yakima. Best chance for anything sustained will be Saturday night, tomorrow night into early Sunday morning. Blue Mountain region seeing quite a bit of cells, and then it'll move into the Tri-Cities, possibly also into the Yakima area, but that should be done before sunrise on Sunday, and then a little bit of precipitation just to the east of the Blue Mountain region. All right, our 2023 countdown. We're only 10 days away from Memorial Day, a week from Monday. That is just barreling at us. Father's Day and Juneteenth, just about a month away. So overnight tonight, we are staying very warm. We're actually, we're taking a look at tomorrow. We're staying very, very warm, and we're going to be seeing those highs. Again, should be some records broken unless the sun blunts the temperature just a bit. 89 for Ellensburg. Other than that, mid to upper 90s. As we move into our 7-day forecast, we do expect to see that cool down to start on Sunday. And then as we move into our work week, we expect to see upper 70s to lower 80s, possibly a little bit warmer a week from today. But folks, plenty of sunshine is on the way. We, again, could see a shower or two, especially Saturday into early Sunday, but still, folks, more sunshine than not. For the Yakima region, 93 tomorrow, then 84 by Sunday, and then mid-70s to start your work week with building temperatures as we get into the latter part of next week. So, folks, we do have smoke, sun, and heat dominating our areas for the next 2 days. Hopefully, we'll see winds come in on our weekend and get rid of that smoke again from the Canadian wildfires. But do get ready for very hot temperatures, and if you're tired of the temperatures, the hot temperatures, you'll get some relief Sunday and especially in our next work week.
Thanks, Jason. And up next on KAPP Local News, we are talking about a new sign that the United States may be sending even more military support to Ukraine. That's next.
Portion of KAPP sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Hi, I'm Eddie Morphine from Morphine Law Firm. If you've been wronged and you need to make it right, give us a call. We're not afraid to fight. If you need an attorney with your best interests in mind, give us a call at Morphine Law Firm.
Come celebrate Pingree Ford's 95th year of serving the Yakima Valley. We've come a long way since Harold Pingree opened our dealership just a year before the Great Depression. It's hard to believe that in 1932, we made only one car sale and even accepted sacks of potatoes as payment. Today, we continue as a family-owned business, focused on providing exceptional service to our loyal customers. Come see us today and feel the power of Pingree.
I was 44, working part-time. It was my first mammogram, and they found a few cancerous places in my left breast. I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't feel sick. I didn't have a lump in my breast. There was nothing. I wasn't afraid I was going to die. My first fear was, how am I going to tell my daughter? As a result of early detection, I didn't have to do chemotherapy. I just did surgery and radiation. Was able to maintain a good quality of life, and now it's a distant memory.
It's time. Time to let your soul breathe a little, to feel the sun on your face, and to feel alive again. It's time to dust off the clubs, to treat yourself, and test out your lungs. It's time to get away to the place that's not so far away. Lakeside Coeur d'Alene. Find countless ways to play and stay in CDA at visitcda.org.
It's a celebration of Merlot this summer in Walla Walla, July 13th through the 15th. Join more than 50 Walla Walla wineries for Celebrate Walla Walla Valley Wine. Take part in special tastings of rare library wines, enjoy intimate winemaker dinners, and gain access to premium Merlots during the wine panel presentation and tasting. Participate in this full sensory experience from July 13th through the 15th. Tickets are on sale now at wallawallawine.com.
Come shop the largest selection of RVs in the Tri-Cities at Appleway RV. Save big on Class A's, Class C's, travel trailers, toy haulers, and fifth wheels. Shop America's top brands, Rockwood, Tiffin, Newmar, Dynamax, and more, with a huge selection of pre-owned RVs. Plus, get maximum value for your trade, all with no payments for 90 days. Come shop the clearance event at Appleway RV Pasco.
It has been almost a year and a half since Russia invaded Ukraine, and during that time, Western nations have hesitated to send certain types of military support to Ukraine because of the fear of provoking an attack from Russia. But today, President Biden told allies at the G7 summit he's approving plans to train Ukrainian pilots on American F-16 fighter jets. Ukraine doesn't have F-16s, but this training announcement could indicate that the U.S. is gearing up to send fighter jets to Ukraine. We've already sent rocket launchers and Abrams tanks to help out in their defense against Russia. Here in our area, we're talking heat and haze. We'll have a final look at your weather when we come back. And still ahead, a 21-year-old Air National Guardsman accused of leaking classified secrets online appeared in federal court today. World News Tonight is tracking that case, coming up in about the next 10 minutes.
Portion of KAPP sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Tonight, when most of the cameras left, we stayed in Uvalde 1 year after the deadly school shooting. See how this community has moved forward after tragedy. More Americans turn to the most watched program on television. World News Tonight with David Muir.
At Honda, we offer complimentary maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles. Just enjoy the ride, knowing we cover routine items like oil changes, tire rotations, and multi-point inspections. Honda Service Pass, available to purchasers of all 2023 Honda vehicles. Get yours today.
An accident can shatter your life. At Tamaki Law, we put your life back together.
I believe my purpose in life is to help people. My clients depend on us to fix their circumstances. That's our job. The stakes are high and we can't let them down. That's why we work hard and fight for the justice they deserve.
If you've been seriously injured, call Tamaki Law and get your life back.
Luxurious Karastan carpets are just the footing you need to live beautifully. And now, during National Karastan Month, you can save beautifully. Use your exclusive rebate to receive up to $1,000 back on select styles of Karastan carpets and the flawless craftsmanship of Luxe Craft hard surface flooring. Live beautifully, save beautifully with Karastan at Floor & Home by Carpet One.
Come see us at Floor & Home. Let us help create your space.
Reel in a fortune during a $200,000 fishing for a fortune at Wild Horse Resort and Casino with over $7,000 in cash and prizes every Friday and Saturday. Cash your line and win up to $750 free play, $1,000 cash, or hook a new 15-foot Alaskan DLX boat. Play Wednesdays and multiply your entries. Use your club wild card and earn points and win special prizes from Billy's Bait Shop. Reel in your next fortune today. Wild Horse Resort and Casino, Pendleton, Oregon. More winners, more often.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. Part of the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right, all year round. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for $0 down, 0% APR for 84 months.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at gokubota.com.
Our phones keep us constantly connected. But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? To limit screen time, but not quality time. And to give us rhythm instead of algorithms. Introducing Us Mode. Set your phone for human connection at US Cellular.
Taking one more live look outside this evening, we do have an air quality alert for most of eastern Washington right now, and this is why. Jason Valentine has a look at what to expect for the weekend.
All right, folks, let's get you ready for your Saturday. Happy weekend, everyone. Plenty of sunshine expected, though we do expect more haze tomorrow. Highs are going to be in the mid to upper 90s for the Tri-Cities area, right around the mid 90s for Yakima. Again, folks, staying very, very warm. Mid 90s for Walla Walla. Plenty of sunshine there. Maybe a little bit of afternoon clouds for Ellensburg. We expect to see around 89 for Ellensburg. Could see some late showers tomorrow night into very early on Sunday.